Hi everyone, my name's Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today I'm going to show you a couple of cards that are so easy to make. They're actually the same, but I'm using designer series paper to give it a little bit different look from each one. Oh my goodness, everybody that sees them just goes nuts. They just love them. You'll notice there's some shakers in here and it's just so pretty. I've actually stamped on the pattern paper. You can see the shaker pieces moving. This is the stamp set. This birthday cake is from the well-worded stamp set. The well-worded stamp set looks like this, and I really like it. I've been getting a lot more use out of this than I ever expected. And then on the inside of the card, I'll be using a stamp set called Sassy Salutations to stamp the happy birthday, which kind of has that nice whimsical look that goes well with these shaker cards. I'm actually going to do 2 cards for you today, just for the fun of it, just to show you how much fun it is to do these cards. So the first thing that we're going to need is some basic black paper. I've cut this at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored it at 4 1/4. And I did that for both pieces so that we have 2 cards here set up and ready to go. Then from the confetti celebration paper, I'm going to go ahead and just glue this on. Now I did this so that I could make maximum use of my designer series paper. These are cut into 4-inch squares. That way you'll be able to get 9 of them per sheet. And my customers don't have any problems if their cards look a little bit different from mine, so it works out well. I've got very easy to please customers, you could say. And I couldn't even pick a favorite. They're just so cute and pretty. So we're going to go ahead and put this designer series paper on. So now we just have 2 designer series base pieces. And now the next piece of paper that we're going to put on here is our strawberry slush piece. I have cut this at 3 3/16 by 4 3/16. I wanted just a tad skinnier of an edge than a 1/4 inch. And so I have these 2 ready to go on. And again, it's just a matter of gluing them down. Nothing is raised on dimensional, so it's just right straight onto the paper. And all I'm doing is making sure that my top 3 borders are nice and even, and then making sure that my paper is sitting here even, kind of lining it up with some of the pattern in the paper. I'm going to do the same thing for this card. And one of the reasons I'm doing 2 is just to show you how quickly this card goes together. Once you have all of your pieces cut out, it just goes together lickety-split. It's so much fun to make. Okay, now it's time to stamp our birthday cake. So I have, again, making the best use of designer series paper. And again, from the confetti celebration pack, I've cut 2 pieces of pattern paper here, both at 3 by 4. That means you'll be able to get 12 pieces, 12 panels out of each 12 by 12 piece of paper. And so we'll go ahead and stamp our birthday cake on here. And I'm using the Memento ink today. I've been playing a little bit more with my Memento ink and I really like it. So we're just going to stamp this birthday cake right in the middle of that pattern paper. And there's one. And let's go ahead and stamp the second one here. Just like this, right in the middle of that pattern paper. Okay, and now I'm going to show you that we are going to be using some shaker frames. This is what the shaker frames look like. I kind of put it back in its packaging. I had been using one of them in this package, but this is what the packaging looks like. And then we are going to be using the second largest shaker frame, so you can see where I've pulled them out. But before I put the shaker frames on, let's go ahead and just glue this onto our paper. And so we'll just glue this right onto our card. And we'll do the same thing with this one over here. It's such neat paper. And right now, Stampin' Up!, I don't know if you know this or not, but in July of 2014, they're having a designer series paper sale. So for every 3 packs of designer series paper that you purchase, you get your 4th pack free. That's a pretty good deal. Okay, so now I've got those shaker frames, and they do have adhesive on the top, and then of course when you pull it up the adhesive is exposed. So I'm just going to set this right over the top of the birthday cake where the candles are. And again, do the same thing with this one. And then, as long as I'm at it, I've got some strawberry slush baker's twine. It's a thick baker's twine, and I've made a couple bows, and I put glue dots on them. So I'm just going to snuggle that bow right up next to our shaker frame right here. And we'll do the same thing for this one over here. So cute. Alright, and now we can go ahead and fill our shaker frames. So I have the new, this new embellishment. It's the In Color embellishment. There's, it's kind of like a little bunch of sequins in different patterns. So I'm just going to take a little bit and put into my shaker frames. You don't want too much. Just as much as you feel like it looks good. There. And then to make those little sequins bounce around a little bit better, I open up the silica gel packets that you get sometimes in pairs of shoes, and we're just going to put about 3, whoops, one of these got away on me here. We're just going to put 3 or 4 of them in. And I go for the little tiny ones because we want these to be smaller than the shaker frame top. So if I can find some little tiny ones here and put those in here. You only need about 3 in each one, just to 3 or 4 in each one, just to kind of, that just rattles it around a little bit and makes those cute little, makes that fly around a little bit, your confetti in there. Alright, so now we're ready to take this top piece off. Let's see if I can do it over here. There we go. We've just exposed our adhesive. This one's being a little stubborn for some reason. There we go. So now we have exposed our adhesive. And we are ready to put on our window sheet. So I used the circle framelets, and starting with one as the smallest, I used the number 4 circle framelet to cut out 2 window sheets. These are going to be just a little bit larger than our, whoops, I got that on there a little bit too quick. They'll be just a little tiny bit larger than the shaker frame that we're using, but that's okay. Okay, so this one goes here, right over the top like that. Alright, and so our shaker frames are done, but we kind of want to disguise this because we're seeing all of the adhesive through here. So to disguise it, we're going to use glimmer paper, and this is our new Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper. And we're just going to take the 1 3/8 inch circle punch. This is the old style punches. I probably have these same punches in the new style, but my old style was handier. And then this is the 1 3/4 inch circle. And so we just go ahead in here. After we've punched out the 1 3/8, we punch out a 1 3/4 over the top. And that way we create a ring. And this ring is what we're going to put on over the top of the shaker. So I've got my rings, and I have glue dots on the back of them. So I can just set them right over the top of that shaker frame to kind of disguise where that shaker frame, you know, the adhesive on the shaker frame. So I'm going to do the same thing for this one. And believe it or not, just like that, we've completed 2 cards. Aren't they cute? I just love them. And then the inside of the card, we don't want to forget that. You're going to have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel of Whisper White. I've gone ahead, I've stamped the happy birthday, and then we have a 1/2 inch by 4 inch panel of the confetti paper again at the bottom. So we can go ahead and insert these onto the inside using some snail. So I'll just put a little snail on the back of these. and then we can put those right into our cards. So there's one card, and here's the other. And now it looks pretty good like this. We could just leave it at this, but I do want to show you how I applied the confetti pieces to the outside of the card, and I think it looks really nice to add a couple of confettis. So what I do is I take my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a dot right here, and then another dot here, and then another dot about here. I'll do that on both cards. So one here, and one here. All right. And then taking my scissors, I'm just going to grab a piece of confetti, one of these little confetti pieces, and then I can just set it right over the top of that glue. So there's one. Here's a little heart that can go down here. And you don't want to touch these until those have adhered themselves to the paper. It takes a couple minutes for this to dry because the confetti is kind of metallic, so it needs a little bit of time to dry. But you can see how that just kind of sparkles up the card with that little bit of extra confetti. So we'll do the same thing for this second card here. I have the glue already down, so now I'm just taking my confetti pieces and just laying them on top of those glue spots. Again, this is tricky if you're not used to using glue, because you barely want to put any down. You just want the tiniest little pieces, tiniest little dots of glue. Whoops, my confetti's getting away. Looks like this one's going to have all stars. There we go. And we'll get this out of the way, and I'll put it up here so you can have a nice close-up of what this looks like. Here are the two completed cards. So very cute. And I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day, and thanks so much for stopping by Stamping to Share. I truly appreciate you. If you'd like to do any shopping and do not currently have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please see my website at www.stampingtoshare.com, and I also have lots more ideas and videos for you there. Have a great day. Bye-bye.